Love Paul. I just don't want to be a dick. Anyway, hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back
Nick.
to Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Greg.
I'm here, Nick. I'm here, and we were just talking to Paul. He's probably in the comments now. We were talking how he has an enemy of which he did not do anything weird to their their relatives' dead corpses. So
okay,
we need to find out whoever that guy doesn't like Paul. Why don't you
Anybody
like him?
watching this replay? Unless they know Paul, they don't know anything about what's going on. So
now it just seems like this is just the necrophilic hour with Nick and Dan.
Yeah, guys, long time no see. There's Paul PA Bruno, so he was just talking to us for a bit before we were waiting for Dan to finish the anyway, tonight on Beer Analysis 101, we're going to do the latest entry in Collective Arts' long-running numbered IPA series. This one here is Collective Arts Peak to Peak West Coast IPA, weighing in at 7% ABV. We'll get more into that, but first we're going to introduce who we have with us tonight, starting with putting me back in focus somehow. Stupid camera. It's always usually when it gets far enough out of focus. So if I hold a beer up here and all of a sudden it focuses on the can, fuck you, Greg. Speaking of Greg,
I don't even know. There's just some weird blob that just.
If I take off my glasses, you look normal to me.
Look, Nick should just stay that way for the show.
Let's just see how long this takes. All right, so Greg,
let's see. Let's look. I've got a shitty laptop camera that's probably a piece of garbage, but look, it can maintain focus on me. Look at that. Look, you can figure it out.
It's got such a narrow aperture.
Oh, you've got a narrow aperture, fuckface.
Oh, this is 1.4. So Dan knows what that means.
I don't know what that means. I'll have to call Agnes here to translate camera nerd.
That's look, it focused. To focus finally. It's an aperture wider than my cock. Anyway. Alrighty.
Oh, that's a macro lens.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Greg, first, how are you doing tonight? Welcome.
I'm doing well. I'm drinking a double octo, which is only available in GLB's new 4-pack, which they should pay me because I'm advertising their product for them now.
Honestly, that works at their brewery almost.
Yeah, I know, seriously, but it's not that good, to be honest. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed. I love Octopus Wants to Fight, one of my favorite, just regular all-time beers. This one's kind of it's fine. It's fine. It kind of tastes a little bit more hazy. It has that double IPA kind of thickness to it. So I mean the body's there. It's not double. 8% is not double 6.5. I'm not good at math, but I don't think it's double 6.5.
Well, it's also a different beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Greg needs to start his own beer tube channel here so he can review
beer burglar reviews.
Yeah.
You could also call yourself the beer police. There you go.
Oh, there it is.
No. That
uniform and everything.
No, that's for somebody who's fit to wear a uniform. I'm not fit to wear a uniform. I can't even wear a shirt. Look, the shirt has a hole in it. Look at this. I'm not.
That's what she said.
And I won't throw it out either.
I should bundle up my old albino rhino shirts and just ship them to you. It'd probably be a bit big on you.
I'll shrink them.
Shrink them. All right, so let's go to who's next. Oh yeah, hi Greg. Okay, Gary, Mr. Redbeard, how you doing tonight?
I am well. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for leaving your game so you could join us.
That's what I do on Wednesdays.
And he just got laid in his game.
Did you really?
It happened. Yeah.
Wow. Didn't get lucky in a video game like that isn't.
Went to the bathhouse, baby.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. So super excited to try this beer for the second time.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Dan. How you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for hockey here, and for games that actually mean something, unlike people who watch Toronto or Montreal or Nick.
Dan, I'm sorry to break it to you, but Toronto's not in anymore, so you may as well just stop watching hockey for the year.
I had a lady walk up to me today and say, yeah, well, that's not the first time. I had a lady walk up to me and say, hey, that's a decent jersey, but it's not a Toronto jersey. I looked at her and went, you do realize they're out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, you got to start cheering for them for next year.
You realize you haven't been paying attention to hockey after
Yeah.
If you just give them enough, fan support, maybe they'll make it to round 2 next year when they'll just be shut out.
Yeah. So and Detroit will make it in the playoffs too. Ooh,
Detroit will probably make it past the first round when they do.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to beat the Bruins.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dan. We'll get back to you. And of course, I'm doing just fine tonight. You look at my hat. I've actually had this hat since I was 17. So
it's very oily. So it really is oily.
Yeah, it's oilier than my hair.
I think you need to add some lighter fluid to it and maybe a spark.
Spark? No, the only sparks I'm hoping are going to be what they're going to be doing on the ice tonight. So, okay, so let's get down to the history with this beer since we actually have one tonight because we haven't done an actual BA 101 in a while. But surprise, surprise, it's a fucking Collective Arts, which seems to be what we usually can get. All get, that is. So Collective Arts Project IPA 27 peak to peak West Coast IPA. So this is the umpteenth beer. God, I've lost count of how many beers we've done from Collective Arts, and I'm not going to break into YouTube and look it up right now, but we've done shit tons of beers from these guys. Won't get into too much detail about their origin story other than to say the usual stuff, which is Collective Arts was founded in 2013 by Matt Johnson and Bob Russell, along with their brewmaster Ryan Morrow. began brewing on contract space in Nickelbrook's brewery in Burlington, Ontario. Collective Arts in Nickelbrook opened up a joint brewery in Hamilton a year later at the site of the former Lakeport Brewery, which was a big macro production. I think Lakeport was bought out, I forget, by Labatt, maybe? And then they still make Laker beers, but Lakeport's kind of, it was a large brewery that just shut down. And Collective Arts, I don't think they use the entire space there, but they use a big chunk of it. And they've since bought out Nickelbrook's share. It was like within the first couple of years that they bought Nickelbrook's share of the brewery out. And now they've got this large brewery in Hamilton that has volume and distribution to brew across Canada and in the US. I mean, Paul could literally probably have gotten this beer if he had looked in the liquor store. Who knows? And of course, even I've even seen the UK getting Collective Arts beers in the past too. Like Craig's been on this show before for doing Collective Arts. So many years ago, I think it was in 2017, it's 2016, they Collective Arts started doing the Collective Projects series, which is a series of seasonals. They started like doing like Project Goes, Project Saison, I don't know, a bunch of stuff. One of the most popular entries, of course, was Project IPA, and they started the Project IPA series with Project IPA #1 beginning in February of 2017, which I do remember having way back 7 fucking years ago. That was a long time ago. We've done numerous Project IPAs on the channel before, and starting around IPA number 23, Mosaic Four Ways, Collective Arts temporarily dropped the number system, but as you can see, it's clearly labeled on the can this time. Collective Arts has brought the number. They don't call it Project IPA anymore. Oh, now you won't look at the friggin' can. Jeez. All right, this is gonna focus.
Oh, I'm glad your aperture is so big, Nick. It's
yeah,
so awesome.
It's being a pain in the butt. If I do that,
have you
considered doesn't matter.
We can ticket?
Yeah, I have to put tech support ticket in. So yeah,
you probably have the focus in the wrong spot.
Yeah, no, I hardly touch it at all. It just automatically does things. It's just locked up. Yeah, so you can see, yay, IPA number 27 on the can. They've brought the numbering system back. That totally wasn't worth the. But I do love the fact that you've revived that little piece of their beer heritage. As I kind of liked it. Anyway, so IPA number 27, peak to peak, is a 7% West Coast ABV West Coast IPA brewed with Simcoe, Centennial, Chinook, and Vic's Secret hops. It's got the Simcoe cat pee hops in them. Released in February of 2024, the can features artwork from Vancouver, BC designer and illustrator Avery Elias, which if you look at Avery.Elias on Instagram, you'll find a whole channel of her work. So I I guess what's left is before we get to the comments, let's just quickly run through everybody here and just see what's your history with the beer. Then we'll read some actual comments.
I actually do have a history of this beer, Nick, because you mentioned it a while back about doing it, and then I guess you decided not to or something, whatever the story was. So I drank my can, and then I had to go buy another can. And I ended up buying just 2 cans because I don't know why not. So I have 2 cans of this. I've had 1 can before. So this is my 2nd can in all of history. So you just breathe in and prepare for history to be made again, Nick.
Well, we were going to do this last week, perhaps even before that, but we didn't have enough people that could get the beer. Then all of a sudden it started, showing up in other people's places, and we ended up getting
good beer, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, give me a second here, and I will flip over to Carrie, he's probably also got a history with this particular beer because he's probably had it before, I'm assuming.
He looks very happy.
He's awful quiet.
Nuh-uh.
Get your birthday.
I may have had it, and I may have reviewed it, and that would be my history with the beer.
You may have reviewed it. Okay.
Maybe.
So you may have to watch my channel.
Yeah.
By the way, check out his channel, Redbeard.
Where he gets to have sex with wenches.
Yes. In video games. All right, and of course, Dan, who's also got a YouTube channel called Western Canadian Beer Reviewer or Western Canadian. What do you call it now? It's
Western Canadian Reviewer.
Okay.
There you go. just to bug Paul of me being Western here, so my history. You're looking at it. I found it 2 weeks ago. Sent you a picture, and I haven't opened it, so. I know that there's probably a couple more at the place I go to, but that's about it. So,
all right.
Yeah, no history on that one.
Yay. So yeah, it's probably you probably picked it up when we first mentioned, because like anything we do on BA 101, naturally I have to be able to get here in wee little New Brunswick, and I usually don't get as lucky as everybody else gets. So had to wait until I could find it here first, and of course, in true NB Liquor style, this shit was brewed in February, and it's, I suppose, 3 months old. It's not that bad.
Oh, you're February?
Yeah, February 5th. So
I suck then. Mine's January 16th.
Really? I got March 11th over here.
Wow.
Let's have
anyway, and I think when I picked it up, I was like, let's do this because I want to do this review. Greg can still get it. All of a sudden, the North Bay Contingent couldn't get it, and now they can get it.
Yeah.
So it was coordinating this whole thing. We just said fuck it, and we did a couple of BYOBs.
But one of the unprofessionals from North Bay decided that they had to work tonight. Rude.
Pretty much. All right, so we got a shit ton of comments in here. Anybody, any volunteers to read?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Scroll 8 miles up here.
Yeah,
all right. We got Lee Russell. This better be West Coast as fuck, or I'm unsubbing. Mercedes, Lee's here. Good enough. Let's go. Paul. Hi, guys. Long time no see.
Hey, Paul.
And then Lee, shittier cam with no focus. Nick now looks like one of those blurred dudes in a documentary about horrible crimes. God, it only focuses on AB InBev products. Bondage outfits don't count as uniforms. Cheers to Paul. I'm making the game. Fuck you, West Coast Nick. Nothing you support will win. Hockey equals Canadian figure skating. Hockey talk equals Canadian sleeping pills, like roofies without the sex afterwards. Yeah, it's well played. Sure. And well, then grab your pillow there, Lee.
Bite the pillow.
Full contact.
I mean, on the bright side, you don't get arrested for hockey either. So,
yeah. Henry from Scalise has arrived. Jesus Christ be praised. PAA doesn't get Collective Arts where he is.
What?
And easy there. Lots of things that win I support, just can't prove it. Oh, yes. Yeah. Paul cheersing Henry. Lee, you're lucky, Paul. Such an overrated brewery. Can't understand your West Coast babble. Absolutely. Cheers to Henry. Cheers to me. Everyone slapped the like. Everyone here also slapped the like button. All the cat piss.
Jerk the video off. That's right. Click that thumbs up.
Jerk it off.
How you get your blurred massive cock to hold your beer like that?
What?
Maybe I reviewed the beer already. Maybe it was mediocre.
So that wasn't Nick's face. That was blurred. That was his dick.
Tavern whores need love too.
There you
Of
go.
course they do.
Deep hard love.
He did watch Redbeard's stream.
Penis stabby. That's fucking hilarious, Paul. Let me know who I should mail beer to. If we can do, I'll do a Pennsylvania BA 101. I'd be down.
That'd be cool.
And Henry saying Midwest is king.
I'd say mail it all to Greg, but he would drink.
Ohio.
No, Greg wouldn't drink it. Actually, probably.
No,
That's
I wouldn't. I would pass it along to the appropriate people.
Yeah, pass it along to the appropriate people, but as long as they pay shipping and packaging.
That's right.
Should do something like that though. Like get you to send me a beer mail of Ontario beers or something that everybody can get that I can't.
Also, I don't charge for packaging because I usually either get it from all my wife's Amazon purchases, or I used to just steal it from work, and I still have supplies from that. Oh shit! This is incriminating. We're live. Oh.
I'm sure you will be in trouble for that.
Alrighty, so
Hey.
yeah, we might as well go back to this, and I guess this is the shoot the shit part of the episode while we wait to come up with our thoughts on this, because unlike everybody else, I haven't drank much of this beer. Anyway, Henry from Skillet says, "I'm a dumb hillbilly from Salem, West Virginia that lives in Lancaster, Ohio."
I think he means that now lives.
Oh.
So yes.
So it's not like a hillbilly from was it Arkansas that moved to Pennsylvania?
He was doing some farming today, making his wife a sunflower garden.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm still not completely convinced, like, if this guy's not just some like NPC from your game that's just somehow come to life.
The advancements of AI.
AI has escaped the game and is now on the internet.
It would be pretty funny because there's no you can drink in the game, but there's no weed in the game. But Henry from Scouts is a big fan of the weed, so
I'm sure you could find something to smoke there.
There's a lot of different things to drink. Mead, beer, spirits, wine, fine
That's
wine.
probably why he went into the real world, is because he can actually smoke weed now.
That's one thing I miss.
You totally can actually become an alcoholic in the game, shit, too. It's fucking hilarious.
It's one thing I miss about going to Michigan on a regular basis. I mean, yeah, the beer is great there, but the mead, they got fucking great mead there, and Ontario just doesn't have good mead in general. If you can get mead at all.
I've only had a couple that I think were brewed here in Ontario. Yeah, it wasn't, well, again, that Schramm's stuff that some piece of garbage gave us a while back.
Oh yeah, well, Schramm's is fucking high end. Like I still haven't tried their Black Agnes, which is supposed to be like the greatest meat of all time. Plus, I mean, who doesn't want to taste Black Agnes? But but that's just like $100 a bottle. But apparently, it's like supposed to be amazing. I'd like to try to get it at some point if I'm going through, because it's not that easy to get. You kind of, I don't think they ship it, or maybe they do now.
So, looking at the comments, for instance, yes, now loves in Lancaster, Ohio. So that's Loving Tavern, which is in Lancaster, Ohio.
I think he may have meant lives, but
he may be high and drunk right now.
You folks should. Bubba Sadie says you folks should change it up just once and review a dot.
I want to know what should we review?
Yeah, let us know.
Tell us, Bubba Sadie's.
Probably a mead.
I'm curious. You want us to try? Oh, like review a mead? We can do like a BYOB mead.
I just don't know.
I know I can't get like Shrams here.
No, you can't get Shrams. They only distribute in Michigan.
There is a place that makes mead in New Brunswick that I wouldn't mind trying. It's called Paul and Angels.
You can get you can't get a lot of mead at the LCBO. You can literally there's 4 of them. And I'm not even sure.
You call it MA 101, like Mead Analysis 101. I'm down for trying new things if it keeps everybody together. You know, like
I've had that.
Now,
Nick, have you
that
considered?
sounds dirty. Yeah, I know. Like,
Hey,
I'm
Nick,
surprised
hey,
it was Dan and not Greg that ran with that.
I was gonna say, if you considered gay sex 101.
GS 101. We've definitely
Although-
eaten a lot of things over the years.
Oh boy. Well, this took a sudden turn,
Oh, I
folks.
never
Now
seen
to
Greg
admit.
once.
Well, that escalated. I mean, the LCBO. I've had this stuff before, Moniac mead, and that's actually a pretty decent mead. It is sweet. Like the thing with any mead, it's a little on the sweet side, so you probably may not want to drink as much as you'd normally drink of a beer, even though the alcohol content is often similar. But yeah, I mean, they have some really good meads out there, just not really so much in Ontario.
We got a meadery here in Alberta. We got a couple actually.
I think Michigan is like the number one or number two in the States. Like it's like Michigan's actually really good for a lot of those things. They're one of the biggest breweries in the U.S. Brewing states as well.
Yeah,
we got.
If you're watching, Marson, fuck you for moving to South Carolina and taking away all my supplies, jerkhead.
Sorry, what were you saying?
How dare you? How dare you make things better for your
Greg
family?
decided to getting overpowered. We've been overpowered by Greg before. You know, that's not the topic we just discussed. This company, what's Happy Night Black Mead? Black Mead from New Brunswick Honey, used with award winner Happy Night Black Currant Wine. Oh, okay, it's like had mead infused with black currant wine. Interesting. It's $15 for a 750 ml bottle. That doesn't sound that bad.
Here they've got a mojito where it's refreshing honey, mint, and lime. Mojito, I should say. Yeah, I said.
Well, I mean, that's kind of that might not be too bad. Like mint and lime is mojito.
Yep.
It's another one. There's one that I was going to check out from Pollen Angels. It was a, I think it was like a tea, like mead tea, like what black tea and mead. Naughty. It was Pollen Angels Naughty sparkling mead. So it was like sparkling mead made with black tea. So iced tea mead,
but not the Illuminati.
Yeah, right. Got 3 cans left up in Sussex at Hampton. Nice. I don't know. I'll try it at some point. Anyway.
So now we got off track.
Yes, we did.
Hey, we're padding the show because everyone loves a 2-hour BA.
Weed flavored beer. That's like New Brunswick. They don't even sell any of those weed beers here. I think they have like a selection of weed, like those like Molson Bane weed beers that are like non-alcoholic or barely alcoholic.
No, they have the Molo, which I think Molson's actually dumped their weed division because I don't think it was very profitable. So I don't know if you can still buy Molo or if they sold it to somebody else or what the deal is. Because my wife used to work at Molson, and some of the people, including her direct boss, moved on to that division when it became a thing, and now they're shuttering it. So
any of the weed beers I've ever had have been pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like Molo was good for somebody like me who's not a weed person, and it's not very strong. But like Carrie would need to drink like 12 of them to even get a buzz.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if you can still get it, and I can't even find that much about it. Like the link that takes you to the Cannabis NP page is dead now, so I'm gonna guess it probably doesn't exist anymore. That was the one I had, that Molo, like years ago. I think it was back when Redbeard and Guy were here for a visit. Anyway, so why don't we actually do something eventful, and let's go back around to Greg first, and he can talk about his thoughts on this beer.
Oh man, I don't have Ashley Sexton here in front of me, so I can't just copy him. This is terrible. I got to come up with my own thought. So
I know it's tough to do.
You got to think of the consequences of coming first, or Greg.
Well, I'm used to coming first, so that's not a problem at all, Nick.
And you're not gonna go down that path.
So I just get to sit back and watch the show and not have any pressure at this point. So, what do I think of this beer? So, it is a West Coast. I agree with them on that. It's definitely not a hazy. It's definitely not juicy or fruity or any of that stuff. Generally I'm not a big hazy fan. So kind of when I saw this as a West Coast IPA, I was excited about it. The problem is it's a really boring West Coast IPA. Like there's not really a whole lot going on. It's very smooth. Like if you were like somebody who's not really into IPAs, like I wish I had my wife around here. I'd actually get her to try this because I feel this is kind of one of those almost an introductory beer where I feel if you're not really into a lot of hops, this would actually be really good for you because you'd be like, you get a little bit of flavor. It's not a bad beer by any means. It's just kind of boring. There's not a lot of bitterness, not a lot of really flavors of anything. I get a little bit of pine, but not a lot. I get a little bit of resininess, not a lot. Maybe there's some sort of fruitiness or something going on. Maybe there's even a vegetable in here. I don't know, but it's just not very strong flavors either way. But I mean, that being said, I mean, you could drink this. Like this drinks really smoothly. Like this drinks almost smoother than like a lot of 4 or 5% pale ales I've drank. This actually to me, this would be a nice session beer, actually. I mean, other than the 7% part, because that part after 3 of them might catch up with you, but I like it. I don't love it. It will. So as a West Coast IPA, that's going to be the hard part because there's a lot of good West Coast IPA. Less so now because the Haze boys have taken over. But there's still some pretty good, Bone Shaker. There's Headstock, Octopus. Although I'd almost argue Octopus might be a bit of a hybrid. But so there's still some pretty good Dead Elephant. That's another good one, as long as you get a fresh can. Fuck you, Railway City. You guys don't keep your cans fresh at the LCBO. Shame on you. So unfortunately for not personal enjoyment, for style, I got to kind of knock this down because there are still some pretty damn good West Coast IPAs out there. So I got to give this a 6.5. It is on the Greg scale. It is on kind of the low end of good, or mid end of good. I guess low end would be 6. So 6.5. Just because West Coast IPA, I get excited. It doesn't really have a ton of West Coast flavors. It doesn't really have anything that makes me excited to drink it. That being said, I do feel that, and I haven't put this to the test yet, but I do feel, if I drink 4 Bone Shakers, I don't feel so good the next day. I feel if I drink 4 of these, I don't have 4 of these to actually test out this theory, but I feel I'd feel a little better because there aren't those strong flavors. And I do feel like it's not so much the alcohol that gets to me. It is the strong hot flavors that the next day I don't feel so good because I know if I drink, if I've done the test, if I just drink gin or something, and I drink a lot of gin, I feel great the next day. It doesn't bother me at all. But these damn hops, they get to me. Because I'm old. Fuck you, Father Time.
All right. So what did you say was your overall score?
I didn't, but I'm going to say it now. I actually give this a 7.5. I like it. I do like it. It is nothing great. Especially when you consider the price, I think the price is like $4.50 a can or something, which I know it's more for you, Nick, but for Ontario, that's expensive. So yeah,
how much did you say was there in
I think it's $4.50 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
I can look it up, but
standard price here.
Yeah, well, anything Collective Arts is usually $4.50 or $4.75. Even when they had their fucking nano IPA that was like 3%, they're like, oh, it's still $4.50. I'll look it up quickly, but
it's like $5.99 here.
Again, I like it. I don't really have anything like. It's boring, but if you're not really that big on hops, you're not really like, hey, I don't love West Coast IPA. I don't really want to be smacked in the face with a pine tree. It's not a bad beer, and you can enjoy it. Like this would be something if I had it at a bar, I could drink a few of them. It would be good, but it's not something I will ever buy again because there are better options. And frankly, better options for less price. $4.75 a can. So I mean, I could almost buy, especially if I were to buy it from the brewery itself, I could buy like 2 Octopus for that price, or I could almost buy 2 Bone Shakers for that price. So it just doesn't financially make any sense, and those beers are better anyways. But For what it is on its own, it's fine. 7.5. It's more than the percentage, so it's only 7%. Which is weird because this double octopus is only 8%, even though this is a double and this is just a regular IPA. How does that make sense? Jesus Christ be praised.
Right.
Fuck
All right.
yeah.
Thank you, Greg. Let's go over to Kerry.
Yeah, I'm getting basically the same experience I had when I did my review. I don't like this beer. This beer is fucked up. It's got a malty smell to it. It just tastes like something's wrong with it. Like I figured maybe the one I had first, something was fucked up, but it's doing the whole thing again. It's not old. Like I said, this is from March 11th. It's not like, I don't know. I don't like this beer. Like, and the price, like what Greg was saying, like that's forced. I didn't even realize that when I bought it. I just knew I had to get one for the review. And when I bought my other one, it was like, okay, brand new beer from Collective Arts. I got to try that. Like Collective Arts, in my opinion, makes some decent IPAs. It's been a while since they've made anything that blew my mind. I guess Life in the Clouds, when it first came out, was kind of astonishing, but even it has kind of, I don't know, it's not as good as it used to be, in my mouth's opinion. But yeah, this just sucks. Compared to other decent West Coast IPAs like Octopus or Bone Shaker, like the bitterness isn't. It said 65 IBUs on Tapped, and it's just not.
It's almost not bitter at all.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 5s across the board.
Jeez.
But that's being generous. It's just above drain pour level flavor wise. Like if it was any worse, I wouldn't have made it as far as I have. I don't like this beer.
Well, I mean, really, you're not going to drain pour it anyway because it costs you $4.75.
I'd still drain pour it. If I don't like something to that point, I'll
waste.
Yeah, I guess it's fucking gross.
Kerry will eat chips off the floor too, so
That's true. Yeah, well, I thought like you wouldn't waste chips on the floor. Why would he drain pour a beer to waste it?
Because it was a chip that was on the floor for like a second and a half, and you're just weird.
It's still on the floor.
That's a pretty good summary, actually.
It was a talkie too. It wasn't like a big chip. It was like a little chip. The surface area that contacted the floor was fucking tiny.
Is that what broke your rib?
Yes.
Oh, that was the fake dying afterwards that broke his rib.
I mean, clearly, the 5-second rule was invented by scientists, so it's fine.
Mythbusters did that on an episode, and they found something like a chip, unless it falls onto like the floor that's wet with something. You pick that up. It's gonna have you drop like a piece of deli meat, a piece of bologna or something on the floor. It's gonna fucking be gross because it's wet and like but
I guarantee you, if Nick dropped his bologna on the floor, he'd pick it up.
I can't argue.
If I drop my bologna on the floor, I'd wash it off first.
There it is.
But you can't. You can't wash it do that with a chip.
Exactly, and because you don't need to.
It's not that I'm not like all for like wasting food or some shit, but I'm not gonna do it just on anything.
I feel it also depends. Like I feel
Bologna's
like Ashley Sexton. I feel Ashley Sexton and his wife, for the most part, they keep a clean house, and I feel their floor was relatively clean. So I don't think there would be an issue if I was in like maybe Paul's house or something. I'd be like, nah. That chip's been on a dead hooker now. So
Radar was walking around that floor. I'm not going to eat anything off of that floor after that. No.
The comment that Paul just made, I found shit on the floor and still ate it. Fuck it. Oh, there's a chicken wing. What
like Leah's like, let's face it, all bologna is on the floor anyway.
Okay. If I found a chicken wing in the dumpster, I'd still eat it. You don't waste a chicken wing.
Jesus. All right. So let's move on to Dan. Probably, I get the feeling you'll agree with me with the chip.
Dan, what would you eat off the floor?
I can't say because this is a PG show.
Is it though?
Oh.
Since when?
Okay, fine. My wife.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Anyways, you went down that path. There we go.
So Paul's not the only cannibal here.
I need the ability to unhear things so the mental images don't. That's
Too late.
I am
Too late.
I might need to I might need to lobotomize myself later.
Now we know for sure that Nick would not eat a chip off of Dan's floor.
Yeah, well, it's probably been squirted on. All right, so Dan,
which is perfectly clean. You don't need to wash the floor.
Don't need dip
well, you
afterwards.
squirt. You wash your dog.
Anyways,
it doubles as floor wax.
Oh God.
Makes for the
I'm scoring tonight. That's not the Canucks.
Yeah.
You've heard of spit shine. Now.
All right.
Let's just buff that out a little bit, shall we? Anyway,
there's definitely been a lot of buffing and stuff.
Why are Dan's shoes always so clean?
Especially the bottoms of them.
Clean.
But that being said, you guys have kind of trashed this beer a little bit, and I don't disagree. I don't know. I think the mixture of the hops just don't really make it that decent of a West Coast style. I think that basically there is a bitterness there, but it's not the West Coast bitterness that a lot of people look for. It feels a little dialed back, but I'm still getting that bitterness on the back of my throat. I'm still getting the IPA, West Coast IPA feeling of it, but it just doesn't have that flavor behind it. So is it a West Coast IPA? Yeah, it can be, but it's not. It's still got a little bit of haze to it. It doesn't have that clearness of a West Coast IPA. So for the style, I have to agree. It's down there. It's a 6. Thanks.
Can number 2.
Okay. All right. Well, you can go for can number 2. That's it. There you
go. Might as well get rid of it.
Yeah. Enjoyability.
I was going to say,
Greg just wants to drink it to get drunk. So
I can't see it getting any better.
Yeah.
No, it probably won't age well.
No, probably not. No, I've also had an older can than you guys by a couple of weeks, but I mean I don't think that really makes a difference. I don't know. For enjoyability, I'm not really a big West Coast IPA fan, anyways.
Fuck you, Dan.
But yeah, this is coming from someone who's from the West,
you're literally West Coast Nick.
Yeah, I also don't like salmon. So what's your point?
Oh. Well, at least
the Knicks, fuck you, Greg.
At least the Knicks agree on something.
I think the majority in the chat right now is
the same way. Yeah.
And anti. I love fish, but I just not.
No.
Fuck you, salmon. Fuck you, salmon.
You're all fucking.
I'd rather eat other pink things than salmon.
Oh, he's talking about his wife again.
You know, to be fair, a well-made salmon steak, not the worst thing in the world. But
salmon?
Don't even come near me with an open can of salmon. I will slap you in the face.
That's the thing is, I mean, okay, canned salmon. I get the issue. Properly cooked or baked or barbecued salmon. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. It's fucking delicious.
Quite often when I have it, I feel like it's just been made bad. Like I come back to it. I'll try it now and then, but just I don't know. It's.
Well, I mean, I also feel any seafood. I also feel any seafood made bad is not good.
Yeah, you're not totally wrong there. No.
Anyways,
like this
Dan,
beer, it's already changed topics, so you know.
Hey, Dan, how do you feel about mountain biking? Since that's from the West Coast too.
I used to mountain bike a lot, so what the fuck's your point?
What happened to you? What happened to you?
I moved to Calgary and I couldn't mountain bike all over the place all season. So.
Oh, that's right. I forget you're not in Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
so
you
my
grew up in
enjoyability. Let's get back let's get this back on topic. Yep. Topic. Yeah. Toxic. There we go.
Talking dick.
Yeah, that works too. I'm not a big fan myself. I find I'm also a hazy fan. Sorry, Greg. That just pretty much.
Okay.
I like hazies a lot more. I've never been an IPA bitter fan, so for me, enjoyability.
You're not a real beer drinker.
Fuck you and your sours. Anyways,
no, that's Carrie. Carrie likes sours. I don't like sours. You fucking
yeah. Well, you know what? I don't like West Coast IPAs, so fuck you, Greg. Let's set up the delivery, and there it is.
I mean, I feel we're just in a temporal paradox at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone pointing at each other. So my enjoyability is only a 5.5. And I'll wait till Nick hears that and then puts it in. So.
Yep, I heard it. He knows. I'm trying to hear next to my brother. Anyway.
Tell your brother I said hi.
Yeah, hi, Greg. All right, thank you, Dan. Let's go over me and I'll bullshit about this beer for a bit. Yeah, I kind of see where everybody's coming from. This one is kind of boring. As Greg, I think, put it perfectly. It's a intro West Coast. See, Greg, I'm agreeing with you on something.
Yeah,
it's even recorded.
It almost kind of presents itself to me like it's a macro West Coast. Like it really reminds me of. I want to say it reminds me of Goose Island, but I'm probably thinking of the wrong macro West Coast. Maybe I'm thinking like one of those. There was like a series of IPAs or something that was in Molson released, or those bubble beers, the cryo hop beers. Anyway, this one here, yeah, I get it. It's West Coast. It does kind of taste like it's got that clean finish. It's got this weird kind of like maybe thicker than it should be. Not so like it's clean and all, but it doesn't. It comes off with a bit too resiny of a body. It just tastes like it's been mass produced. If that's a thing. I feel like a hipster saying that shit. I mean, it's very drinkable. It goes down pretty easy. It's got some nice piney hits. Got a little bit of white grape, the resin notes. I mean, they want to call us a West Coast. Yeah, I agree. It's West Coast, but it's just not exciting. So I think for overall, I'm going to give it a 7 for the style there because there's way better out there. I mean, if you were to compare this to the likes of like, if you want to go and call like Bone Shaker and Headstock and those like West Coast style IPAs, yeah, this kind of pales in comparison. But I mean, if you were to compare this beer to like a proper West Coast, like a Lagunitas IPA, but Lagunitas IPA comes off a little bit macro-y too. It has the lighter piney body, but I've had way better. Let's just say let's stick to it. I've had way better West Coast IPAs. This is fine. I'm going to give it 7s across the board, but it's fine. I've had better Collective Arts. I've had better West Coast IPAs, and for the money, $6, it's definitely overrated, like what Lee was saying.
Yeah, I guess you paid the same price as I did.
Yeah, It was $5.99 for this can.
Yeah, I think mine was about $5.90. So yeah.
Hey, focus works. All right,
right at the end. It's warmed up now.
There you go. So while I do the mass, I'll put it back on Redbeard so you can read the rest of the comments.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
The fuck were we here? Some of the meads and stuff. Be Nectar good. Schram's overpriced. Henry Stone and Drunk. Paul will bring some homebrew mead to the July thing if we go there. Henry saying mead is sweeter than beer. It depends on the beer. There's some insanely sweet beers out there as well, but I'd say as a general rule, yeah. And then question was asked by Lee Russell, what is next week's beer? Henry thought about making a weird beer. Don't have that here in Ohio. Weed was just legalized. And Lee, just avoid gristlefish. There you go.
Just avoid the gristlefish.
That sounds fair. That really does. Snow flounder.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it would be a good fish, if
Is
we're
it-
being honest.
I don't think I've ever had any kind of fish that was gristly. I've had overcooked lobster, and it tends to become quite rubbery.
Oh, it does become very rubbery.
Lobster
Poorly-
is the biggest bullshit in the world because lobster literally used to be fed to slaves, and now it's suddenly like it's this fancy fucking
Delicacy.
food.
Jesus Christ, Craig.
Oh, chicken wings used to be
I
just
mean,
thrown in the garbage.
oh, they used to be. Oh, I mean,
And
listen, you can look up that fact. It literally lobster used to be fed to slaves because it was garbage fish. It was garbage bottom feeder. They just wanted to get rid of. So they're like,
It was
we don't
poor
wanna-
people food. Yeah, it was straight up poor people food. Like
Yeah.
the slave thing is irrelevant. It was just deemed like garbage food, so they gave it to.
Well, no, it was
Poor people
garbage
had it
food
and-
because people who owned slaves, they were like, I don't want to spend more money than we have to, so we're going to give you this garbage fish. But nowadays, it's like, oh, it's fancy people food. I mean, listen, I don't mind lobster; it's fine. But if you're looking for shellfish, crab is much better, and crab is usually cheaper.
I find crab to be better. Yeah, I agree.
A lobster tail for like $50, which is around the going rate in Toronto, is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's totally not worth it. I mean,
Even shrimp is fucking fantastic.
oh yeah, shrimp is better than lobster. Like, lobster is fine, but it's just not worth what the stupid price they charge for it because somebody
Even
decided
chicken wings.
this
Even
is a
chicken
fucking
wings.
luxury food.
Chicken wings are stupid expensive. Like when I was younger, they like people would have wing nights at the Moose, the place I used to work here in town. You
Oh,
pay
yeah.
$2 cover to get into the bar. You get a ticket. That ticket would get you a pound of wings, 7, 8. And I had a tip cup. If you gave me a tip, you were getting like 30 wings. And
Just a tip.
yeah, nowadays
The price of wings is stupid.
a pound of wings can be upwards of $20 at a restaurant. It's outrageous how expensive.
It's insane. That's why I'll generally only get wings at one or two places that I know are really good, and then I'm like, I'll spend it. But yeah, wings are absolutely insane for what they cost.
Did I share the Reddit post of like the in Florida the Formula One happening, and their menu was shared on
Yeah.
Reddit? And
Yeah,
the
but
prices
that's
are just
event
No, but no,
event pricing. That
it's
doesn't surprise
beyond.
me.
It's beyond event pricing. Like you go to like the Battalion game or like a Blue Jays game. Or
Well, I
maybe-
feel the
that's
F1
the
event is more than a battalion game.
No, that's why I said or a Leafs game or a Jays game. You know, like
Well,
but still,
Leafs maybe. Jays aren't like Jays. You just buy your $15 Budweiser and you're good.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like these Formula One, it was like $120 for their wing platter, and it just like a bottle of Crown Royal was like $600. It's just it's insane markup, absolute insanity.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I remember wings. I mean, were even a few years ago before COVID. I mean, they had wing nights that were like around here. You could get 40-cent or 60-cent wings each. Now, like a wing night, which is considered a good price, is like $1.20 a wing, and that's a good price. Like that's like.
There are places that do the Moose has changed their Wednesday thing up a while back. Now it's all you can eat wings for a certain price. So if you eat enough, you can make it worth.
I would make it worth my while.
Yeah, but I worked there actually when
you worked in the Moose.
When the first ever wing
When did you work in the Moose?
price thing happened. We had McDonald's in the States decided to start selling chicken wings. And they bought up like every single chicken wing in North America. And the prices went from like $25 a case, like for a 40-pound box of wings, to like $50. It just doubled. And that's we got some deal with the one distributor for 1,000 cases of wings locked in at like $40 or something like that. And when me and two other guys were sent to the warehouse. We had rented a giant freezer to store them, and we're unloading the truck, and realize some of the wings were supposed to be 5 to 7 count, which is like the big. That's how many wings are in a pound. Bigger wings, and a bunch of them were 8 to 11, which are way smaller wings. So we had to go through all of them, sort through it. The sales guy for the distributor got fired, and it was a whole stupid thing. But yeah, that score's too high.
6.1, 6.3.
Yeah, it's on the low end of good. I feel that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Nick brought it up for all of us.
Yeah.
I don't think it. Well, I mean, I think my personal enjoyment score was a little bit better, but yeah, whatever. I think that's a perfectly fair score for this beer.
Yeah. What did Greg give it? Greg gave it 6.5, 7.5. So Greg loved it the most.
I loved it the most.
I love you a long time. All right, so question's been asked. What's next week's beer? We didn't really decide on one, so I was actually kind of thinking maybe next week we'll do a show and tell. Bring something.
Probably because I don't think we have a beer we can all get. So
not the moment.
I think we might have to do a summer of re-anals and just let's just do Molson Canadian for the 4th time.
We've already done it twice, so no.
That means we have to do it a 3rd time before we can do it the 4th time.
Well, that is a thing you could do, is maybe go through the macros we've done, see which ones we haven't re-analed, if any, and just kind of have them as something for the future. They're just
still going to do a show until next week, but we still haven't really properly done Bud Light.
No.
Oh, there we go. Is
it
I'm out.
We did like a Bud Light. We did like a Bud Light like night, but we all brought a different Bud Light.
Well, we should wait till June because that way we can get the Bud Light rainbow cans.
There you go.
My god.
Yeah, we can talk about it. And of course, there's also that Unibrew Tasters pack. If anybody else can get some of these Unibrews,
I would happily get that if I could. I don't think I've seen it. Let's have a look.
I haven't seen either. I'll keep my eyes open.
Got Donadieu,
Modet,
and Modit, yes, and Trois Pistoles. Trois Pistoles. Did we ever do a BA101 on Trois Pistoles? Because that's like one of my favorite beers by them.
I really wish we still get Unibrew here, but I don't.
Yeah.
We're not.
I'm generally not a fan of Unibrew at all, personally. Well, it's been a while. Like that. They're one of those very Belgian-y, yeast-forward things. So
I was gonna say you're more open to that stuff now. So I mean, you might like it because, yeah. I mean, but unfortunately, we can't get any of that at the LCBO. That's not even Unibrow is not even listed at the LCBO. So,
but they do their own. Really? Yeah, Unibrow.
Well, you know what? Check the beer store, Greg. You might be able to get all the Unibrew stuff at the beer store.
I don't look at the beer store. Let me look.
Because beer store is part Sleeman, right? Sleeman makes Unibrew.
Well, let's have a look.
It's Unibrew.
I feel they bring their own shit in and just avoid the fucking LCBO.
Avoid the LCBO?
There's ways of getting around of where you don't have to put things in like different areas. Like for us, the Alberta ones, people actually don't have to put it into there. They can go direct to the stores and have it shipped to them. And I'm sure the LCBO has the same rules, or at least the.
So we do have a mixed 12-pack and a 24. So the 12-pack comes with Modet, Le Fin du Monde, Trois Pistoles, et Benit. Now hold on. Benit. Let me see if it's actually available though, anywhere near me.
Yeah, there's the second question.
Trois Pistoles one I'd like to do. So if you can get it,
it's available.
Take your car.
Well, yeah, if I have enough gas to get there, sure. It is available. Like it is available at the Long Branch location, so that's not that far away. So yeah, theoretically we could get it. Carrie and I suppose Lady Lee or whoever could see if they could get it in North Bay.
What did you search?
It's Unibrow, but it's at the beer store, and unfortunately, it's a minimum 12-pack. So,
I'm in the up. I just found it. Let me see what we got here.
Oh yeah, I see it.
carried at the store? Let me see.
Albanese.
You just
Check
have to look at
stock.
like, check stock
Yeah,
closest
that
to
we're
you.
all checking it.
Well, here's what you could do. You could get one of those packs, split it with Lady Lee, and flop a stole, no dit. We can do.
It's not coming up in any of the nearby beer stores either.
Well, that fucking sucks. Maybe
Oh,
it
could be one of those things. Oh my god! This is cool. The beer store lets you like click here to see even more. Now I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still nothing. Expand even more.
Well, maybe if anyone from North Bay comes to visit me soon, because my pool is open, I will. I'll send them back with a 12-pack of Unibrow.
There you go.
Oh my god! I'm up to like almost berry now. There's like 30 or 40 beer stores in this list, and none of them have it. This is hilarious. Kirkland Lake, Aurelia, Wasaga Beach. How far did Bayfield Street, Young Street in Barrie.
There you go. There.
What about
Now
Alexandria?
you're going
Maybe
for a
Lady
3-hour
Lee-
drive.
Maybe if Lady Lee goes back to her parents' place for a visit or something in the next couple of weeks, that they have it in Alexandria.
Possibly true.
Anyway, NA Beer Sigma huge now. Do we do the Athletic Brewing Flight Night? We do that usually in February when we have non-alcoholic beers because Dan tells them. We've looked at athletic beers before on the channel.
Athletic, that's all non-alcoholic beers, I think, right?
Yeah, they all suck. Yeah.
I like doing non-alcoholic beers just to watch Carrie suffer.
Pay just as much, if not more, and have no fucking alcohol. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. No, that is the bullshit thing. Is that listen? You don't pay fucking tax to the government. Your non-alcoholic beverage should not cost anywhere. Like it shouldn't be costing even $2 a can. It should be like $1 a can at most.
Yeah, like NB Liquor's got an entire shelf now devoted to non-alcoholic beers. And like, why the fuck am I buying these here? Why would I want to fucking buy these here?
Yeah,
I'm selling it at the fucking grocery stores because they're non-alcoholic.
We'll tell you that the LCBOs here have taken a bunch of their beer space on the shelves and been like, yeah, let's put seltzers on there.
Holy fucking seltzers, non-alcoholic beer, like an entire shelf, like a whole selection of different non-alcoholic beers.
Seltzers are fucking popular.
I can now get the Guinness,
I hate them.
the Guinness 0.0, Guinness Draft Stout 0.0 Nitro. I can get that now at the ANBL for $15 for a 4-pack. That's like, it's cheaper, but it's almost as much as a fucking 4-pack of Guinness.
I still say the one that Safeway and Sobeys does is the best.
Safeway
for the price. The one that Greg always gets. The Compliments.
Oh, the Compliments Blonde, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
I haven't bought that in a while, but yeah, it's for what it is and for what it costs. That's not bad.
Yeah. All right, I think it's high time that we're going to cut the short before we get an hour. So look at Carrie's penis. Get a good look.
We always love seeing Carrie's penis, especially
Go
after
Canucks, go.
You avoid the gristle penis.
That's a bit of a gristly penis.
All right, so I want to thank Lee, Paul, Bubba Mercedes, Henry from Skillets, and anybody else I might have missed in the chat here tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you folks next week when we do show and tell.
Cheers.
Show your
Crispy still knows women.
Show your penis.